Good morning, everyone. It's a Sunday, and I thought I'd stop by, check in, say hello, listening to my own music in the background. Cheers. Someone asked if the Sonicity had ever been released on vinyl, and the answer is no, but chances are that person may have seen it when I had the original collage, because it was a collage for a test pressing of one of my records that I obviously sold because I can't find it. But yeah, that was a full size. It looks so good, folks. You really ought to have a copy of this. Thank you for the compliments on the music. It is positive, life-affirming music. I need that music. That's why I make it. And I'm not finding it. Excuse me. I'm not finding anything like it currently being made in the world that I can find. I hear some old bits of soundtrack here and there where it's like, yeah, but my music is unique. So how are folks doing? My thoughts and my heart are with everyone that is in California, as well as other parts of the world where there is inclement weather and other challenges. So far, all of my family are safe. My sister and brother-in-law in Pasadena. My nephew Kareem is in North Hollywood. He, I think, is okay. But the fires are still going, and other people that I know and have worked with, musicians and music-related people, not doing so well, have lost everything. It's devastating. What a way to start 2025. So much for Happy New Year, huh? I just hope they can get that fire put out. It's a catastrophe. It really is. So I thought I'd get on and say hello, mainly because I see consistently that the draw here is me. I don't know, again, I have a good idea about folks who are watching who are kind of in line with what I'm about, but I also don't know who all these other people are. I don't need to know. I mean, people might be watching me just to laugh at me, but I don't know that, and it doesn't matter because that's them and that's not me. Coffee's good this morning. I keep it real simple, folks, and thankful. My bass, you can see I got both my bass and my guitar in here because I was recently approached by some local folks if they asked if I wanted to contribute some bass to a thing they're doing. They sent me the track, and it's like, no, yuck. And I got to be honest like that. It's like, if you can come up with something a little more original, I'll contribute. They weren't offering me any money. I would, you know what I mean? We don't do things for money all the time. We do things for money because we need to. And the person that approached me, I consider him a musical compatriot, a friend. I like him very much, but it's like, ugh, yuck, this is yuck. No, I don't want to spend time because of latency on the computer. In order to play a live bass and have it in sync, I'd have to move notes. You know what I'm saying? Literally, I said, no, that's too much work. So that's something that's happened recently. What else is on my mind? People are dropping like flies. Every time you turn around, somebody else has died. So I'm not even going to try to make a count of the people. Okay, it's just every day. We're at that age. Rock and roll people are old. This is good. So I have played some music, But the thing that I've been doing, because again, it's little things. It's little things in life. Okay, so I've been in touch with my family, and I haven't been spending money for a number of reasons, as I tell you. But another reason is like I keep thinking, it's like, well, I can't spend any money because my family might need it, And it's like, I need to be able to spend money and enjoy my money. So I bought a terabyte storage device. Now, the reason this has been fun, this has been my project for the last couple days, because over the years, I've been collecting video as well as personal archives, and I've been doing it on USBs. All these USBs, are you folks like me, you got a pile of USBs somewhere in your desk or in the house? So what I did was I took all the stuff, except for I'm keeping one separate USB of personal archives, the DVH Dereck Higgins archives. I'm keeping that separate. But all the video that I collect, movies, I do have a bunch of the Marvel movies because of the comics. I like comics. But transferring things from one device to another takes a long time. So that's what I was doing over the last couple of days, is just moving all my movie files and my video files onto this. And while doing it, listening to music. So here's something that was, I guess, part of a scene in the 90s that I knew nothing about. I just knew that once I heard the band, I said, I really like this. And the sound is a throwback to the 60s. In Spiral Carpets, Cool as Fuck EP. I found myself hearing the song Joe in my head a few days ago, and I said, well, let me just play it. And sure enough, it's just as vital as I remembered it. It's a kick-ass song. This is an example of where the idiosyncrasy of musical taste comes in. Some folks who watch me would probably see this and say, yuck, in Spiral Carpets. Other folks will vibe with me and say, yeah, and that's just the way it is. I'm not saying that In Spiral Carpets are some amazing band that everyone should know about. I'm saying I love them, and this is great. The song Find Out Why as well. I love the beat. It's like they use the polka beat, but it doesn't sound like the polka beat. Really cool. I haven't listened to that in a long time, which again is one of the perks of having a collection. I went ahead and played this the other day all the way through. Buddha of Suburbia. This is good. And he's working particularly with Erdal Kizilkay, who plays most of the instruments on here, and I can see why Bowie worked with him. Because the guy is a one-man band, and he lays down a groove. His grooves are very groovy. I like this album quite a bit. Strangers When We Meet, great single. I love Bowie. Love Bowie. Is there anything else? Yeah, to show. I knew there was. Haven't played this in a while. Odd album. Primitive Guitars by Phil Manzanera. He explains on the back about his approach to playing guitar, where he wanted to be totally original and was inspired by Mike Ratledge of Soft Machine's organ sound. So this is kind of hard to describe, but he definitely has his own style on the guitar. Hadn't listened to this for a while. Good band. Metal and prog. Mastodon, The Hunter. I remember when this came out, there was a app online where you could put this up to your camera and it would do this 3D effect. I don't think it's online anymore, but this is a good album. Played it all the way through. The drums are a bit over busy, but they've that's mellowed out actually, you know, but the drums being over busy. Good band though. Now here's an odd one. This is an odd album. Sand from Germany. In the 70s they put out one album called Golem. It's real collectible. And for good reason. It's just strange. And then a record label, Roto Relief, put out these other, I want to show the cover, it's really cool. These other releases, other records of theirs where I don't think the stuff was released until much later. This is called His First Steps, recorded in 72, I think. There's another version of one of the songs on Golem on here. This is this artwork, I love it, by Steve Stapleton of Nurse with Wound. Really brilliant. But that's some odd music. Really stoned. It's a real stoned sound. And I have one of the colored vinyl versions. They came out in black. Most of mine are black. I got this one in color. It was a trip. I was like, these guys are definitely smoking some good weed. A couple more here. Here's a spoken word thing. Rock and Other Four-Letter Words by, where their names are right here. J. Marks. So hard to see. And it's on Columbia Masterworks. Created by J. Marks and Shippen Lebzelter. There's a lot of spoken word on here. They dedicated to Karl-Heinz Stockhausen. Whatever the narrative is, I still didn't pick up on it. There's a lot of recorded snippets of famous people on here, like the Jefferson Airplane are on here, Lemon Spoonful. They talk to the Dave Clark Five. But it's kind of cool. I mean, it's like, it's a period piece. You can tell, you know, it's kind of dated, but at the same time, they're doing some choral things that are similar to modern classical, Stockhausen, Luciano Berio. And it's pretty good. So this was kind of a fun listen. Rock and Other Four-Letter Words. I think this is an album that you can still find really cheap in the used. Anything else? Yeah. A couple more. So I just saw online here where possibly Benny Maupin and Eddie Henderson lost their homes in L.A. in the fire. Oh, man. But anyway, I was listening to this the other day, Moonscape by Benny Maupin. It's jazz, and it's also really just good listening music, and I love his style. His album Jewel and the Lotus is one of my favorite albums of all time. But Moonscape, this is good. Kind of laid back. And then here's a prog album that I haven't listened to in a long time, and it's way better than I remember. And I'm embarrassed because years ago I had an original gatefold from Italy, and I sold it. And this is an American reissue of it. Maxophone. This is really good. And I had forgotten how at the end of one side they... See, this is what I like about prog, and what grabbed me about listening to prog and always coming back to it is that because the idea is to create and present a variety of ideas, bands and artists would come on these patches of an idea, passages. Like it wouldn't be a whole song, but it'll be like a passage, a musical passage in the piece where it's like, oh, that's really good. And this has one of those at the end of one side where it's like, that's gold. That's special. That's really good. And then it has these save the world sort of lyrics that are kind of cringeworthy, you know. I mean, the sentiment is fine, but the vocals kind of stink. Maxophone. we had been talking about the RCA Neon label. This is another one album on it, but mine isn't because it's a reissue. But Raw Material, Time Is. Great album, great 70s. This is, see, I can trip back in time when I listen to this stuff. And bands like this who didn't make it big, but had big ideas, like this. I mean, there's even an ambient part on here, way before we even were talking about ambient music. What is this, 1972 or some kind of shit? 1971. And it sounds like Van der Graaf Generator in part as well. Raw Material, this is really good. I have their first album too on reissue. Real good stuff. Yes, music is my refuge. Especially in these crazy, to me, the world is in a crazy state. And I'm fine with staying at home for the most part. The world feels really out of balance and dangerous to me. A couple more records here, eh? Oh, yeah. These are from the last few days. This is a masterpiece, Mezzanine, Massive Attack, late 90s. Thankfully, I got to see them when they came to America for the first time. I saw this live. Killer. This is so dreamy and yet so groovy and funky. But the background tracks, the music, besides the sampling that they use, which is done really well, the actual music that they play is very dreamy. This is a big influence, I would have to say. When I think about texturally, it's like it's not a direct, I'm not thinking about Massive Attack, but as I listen to this album and how dreamy and creamy the music tracks, I was like, yeah, this is my wheelhouse. This is what I'm trying to do a lot of the time, to create an atmosphere. This is a killer album, Mezzanine. Couple more. Giles Reeves put some records out through MCA Master Series when New Age was all the rage. But these are good. They're not great, but they're good. Nothing Is Lost. Keyboardist. This one is good. I like this one even better. Wunjo. I have another one of his albums. But these are good, and I think you can find these cheap. Instrumental, ambient, flowing. Yeah, like that, flowing. Good stuff. And the last thing was an album I thought, well, is it time for this to go? And it's not. This is an example of a jazz album by artists who are not names in America. And I don't know if they're names in their home country, but this is very good. It's a duo, but it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like there's more people playing than two people most of the time. This is very good. Cesarius Alvim and Jean-Pierre Mas. Rio Ria. The playing and the compositions on here. Play the whole thing. It's like, damn, this is good. Damn, this is good. Doesn't sound like Chick Corea. Doesn't sound like anybody. It's jazz. And the guy, they both have voices. They have voices. They have something to say. It has a flavor. That's good. So I'm glad I got on today. My boy Blake, I'm happy for him. If you see this, Blake, congratulations. His main gig, Josh Hoyer and Soul Colossal, just won first place at some kind of blues thing down in Memphis. He's on Facebook with the band in pictures showing the trophy. I'm really happy for them. They worked hard, and yeah, I'm really happy for them. And this just means, probably means more gigs, maybe better money for the guys. Probably means I'll be seeing Blake less. But that's okay, because I really do understand. And if you follow me on Facebook, it's what I wrote today. What did I wrote? I wrote, Let me get it down, and then I'll go away. I am alone, and that's okay, because we all are. Is that how I said it? Yes, I am alone, and that's okay. We all are. Even people in relationships, loving couples, people with their children, you're still alone. You know what I mean? You're with them, but you're still just you. And this whole idea of people saying, "I don't want to die alone." Well, someone may witness you and be sitting in the room, but when you go alone. Your spark is gone. And I just bring it up as I think about Blake and the Muse #2. Not worried about it getting finished. I'm happy for Blake. It seems like his trajectory as a professional musician is taking off, and it may very well take him far away from me, and that's fine because that's what he wants. I'm so glad I understand that we all do what we want to do because of ourselves, not because of other people. And people who do find themselves enslaved by others, trying to please people or letting people tell them what to do all the time, that's misery. It doesn't have to be, but some people don't realize that. So I'm okay with knowing that I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. Everyone is alone. Have a good day.